This here, folks, is the 2018 Daiwa Exist LT. And this is the 2018 Shimano Stella. These two reels have been on top of the freshwater pyramid for 4 years, and by the time they are replaced, they will have been on top of the freshwater pyramid for 5 years. That's quite impressive, but when you buy a flagship reel, you're buying the best of the best for 5 years. And I'm just gonna ahead and tell you which one of the two I think is better because I know you're just dying to find out. If you compare these two reels at home, in your office or laboratory, whatever you want to call it, in perfect silence, and you just try to find the smallest imperfection in the drivetrain mechanism or any noise or anything like that, the better of the two reels, without a doubt actually, is the Exist LT. I know immediately I'll be called whatever, Daiwa fanboy or something. But, I don't care much about that. But I actually expected it to be much closer. I thought both of these reels will feel absolutely perfect, and it will be very difficult to find out which of the two is the more refined reel. But actually, it's not that close. Definitely, the Exist LT is the more refined reel. Better tolerances and less noises. I don't want to say smoother. They both have, incredible gears. If I didn't have the Exist LT, I would have said the Stella is perfect. But again, when you play with these two just back to back in perfect silence, it's very important to do this in perfect silence. If your dryer is working in the next room, they will both feel and sound perfect. But in perfect silence, when you're very careful, try to find the smallest difference. Definitely the Exist LT feels like the better reel, and I'm gonna go ahead and pronounce right now that the Exist LT is the best freshwater reel from 2018 to 2022. However, on the water, it's not so easy to tell which of the two reels is better. And that's because all of these little, imperfections that you can notice at home in perfect silence, you're never gonna notice them on the water. This Stella felt pretty damn perfect on the water to me. As a matter of fact, I fished my Beleze with the Complex XR, then with the Stella, and then yesterday I fished the Beleze again with the Complex XR, and I can tell you I can definitely enjoy fishing my Beleze better with the Stella than the Complex XR. These two reels may be tough to call, but this is definitely a significantly better feeling reel than the Vanford family. So yeah, on the water it's very different, and the Stella to me, and I'm picky, felt absolutely perfect to me on the water. Then we have the problem with the resistance in all of these high-end Daiwa reels. The new Luvias, the old Luvias doesn't have the resistance. The old Luvias is, as far as I'm concerned, a far better reel than the new Luvias. But the new Luvias, the Arity, the Exist LT that I'm holding right here, the new Caudia LT that has the monocoque body design too. But somebody in Daiwa decided to put nasty tractor grease in all of their high-end reels. And interestingly, it's only in the high-end reels, again with the monocoque body design. But the Legalis doesn't have that resistance. And you tell me, is it acceptable for all of these $3, $4, $5, $600 reels to have more resistance than a $50 Legalis? I think that's completely unacceptable. That dude who put the tractor grease here needs to be fired. And when Daiwa releases their new reels next year, they need to make sure that all of their ultralight reels get dedicated grease. This is absolutely critical for the perceived performance of the product. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I mean, these are different questions. Which of the two products is just manufactured better and is better, and which one do you enjoy fishing with better? And I can tell you right now, I enjoyed fishing with the STELLA more on the water. Definitely, I enjoyed fishing with the STELLA more. It has less resistance. It has much nicer drag sound out of the box. I don't know how it will come out here in the room. The room has very bad acoustics. I don't have... You should watch the video if you want to hear the drag sound. But the drag clicker inside the STELLA is exactly the same as every Shimano reel over $200. And yet, maybe due to the porting of the spool, or because the spool is very thin, or I don't know what, but it has extremely pleasant sounding drag sound. Probably of all of the Daiwa and Shimano reels that I've tried, this has the second nicest drag sound. Only the Daiwa Presso Limited, the old one, has a nicer drag sound than this. But some cheaper reels in Bass Pro Shops have nicer drag than the STELLA. Pretty much everything that costs $30 in Bass Pro Shops or Cabela's will have nicer drag yet. But I don't want to go to beat that dead horse again. Another thing I like in the STELLA better than the Exist is the whole line management system and the casting performance. You have slow oscillation here of the spool because of the worm gear, and the coils are very tight and parallel, while in the Daiwa they're like cross wrapped. So they do this for the braid, so the braid doesn't dig in. Yeah, but you lose some casting distance that way, and it's ugly. And anyway, that's a topic for another video. I want to compare in one video the line management systems between Shimano and Daiwa, because I think altogether Shimano has a far superior line management system than Daiwa that results in a casting performance probably 10-15% better than Daiwa. Definitely Shimano reels, first of all, cast a little farther, and second of all, if you start fishing with these polyester lines, you will immediately notice Shimano handles polyester lines better than Daiwa. Because again, this parallel winding of the coils, it just lays them down nice and parallel, and they get out without as much jumping. And then you have the spool lip here calms down the coils on the way out. So I mean, it's never perfect with this polyester line. You're always gonna have headaches, but I'm telling you, if you have Daiwa and Shimano reels and you're wondering what line to put on which, because you want to have some polyester line, you want to have some fluorocarbon line, you want to have some braid, I'm telling you, put the braid on the Daiwa reels, because they all have fast oscillation and cross wrap, and that's better for braid. And the fluorocarbon, and especially polyester lines you have to put on Shimano. And I'm talking about the mid-price to high-end Shimanos that have the warm oscillation and the super slow line lay. It will handle polyester line much better than Daiwa. So at the end of the day, even though I can confirm that this is the better manufactured reel, it's just, I don't know, smoother, less noises, less imperfections, I mean, it's mechanically superior to the Stella. On the water, again, you're not gonna feel these differences, and to me, the Stella is just more enjoyable on the water. So I don't know what to make of that, but that's my opinion, and I'm sticking with it. I want to end this video by saying a few more words about the Stella because I already talked a lot about the Exist LT in my previous video about the Luvias Airity, which is the same reel as this. So you know what my opinion on buying this reel is. But buying this Stella, especially this late in the cycle, in my opinion, is difficult to justify for an ultralight angler. But if we're talking about trout performance, these super light trout reels, there is no point buying this over the Vanquish. As a matter of fact, this is pure luck. You're gonna have some small variance even between reels manufactured in Japan. But as a matter of fact, my Vanquish is a little bit better reel than this Stella I'm holding right here. My Vanquish is more silent. Even the gears, I don't want to go there. I really don't want to go there, but I will say that I expected the Stella, at home in silence when you're testing the smallest thing. I expected it to be a better reel than it is. It's still amazing reel on the water, like I said, having seen the Exist LT. Still, if you want to catch a big smallmouth and just enjoy the fight of the fish, this is the best reel. And under heavy load, it does feel a little sturdier and I will say even smoother than the Vanquish. But this is for the loads and the bigger fish and stuff like this. And for these tiny, I don't know, twitching trout magnet and extreme performance, I think it's difficult to justify the 1000 size Stella over the Vanquish. That's my opinion. That's it for this video, folks. I want to thank one more time Mr. Lee from South Carolina for sending me both of these flagship reels for a review. If you have some high-end product that I have not reviewed yet and you're willing to mail it to me for a review, please contact me. Thanks for watching this one to the end, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.